After years of living under the tyrannical control of her brilliant but abusive boyfriend, Adrian Griffin, Cecilia had finally mustered the courage to escape with the help of her sister, Emily, and her childhood friend, James. Cecilia had meticulously planned her getaway, determined to sever all ties with the manipulative and volatile Adrian. As she fled in the dead of night, Cecilia felt a weight lift from her shoulders, a glimmer of hope that she might finally reclaim her freedom. But her nightmare was far from over. In the days that followed, strange occurrences began to plague Cecilia's newfound sanctuary. Doors would slam shut on their own, objects would seemingly move without a discernible cause, and the constant feeling of being watched sent her into a spiral of terror and paranoia. Cecilia's fragile psyche was further shaken when she received the news that Adrian had taken his own life, leaving her a substantial inheritance. Convinced that Adrian was orchestrating an elaborate ruse to torment her from beyond the grave, despite the strange occurrences, Cecilia remained convinced that Adrian was not dead. One day, during a job interview, she opened her portfolio to find it empty, even though she had checked it before leaving the house. Soon after, she felt dizzy and fainted, hearing Adrian's voice. At the hospital, her blood tests revealed the presence of diazepam, and while speaking with the doctor, she saw the missing medication she had used to drug Adrian. Certain that Adrian was alive, Cecilia went with a friend to question his brother, who maintained that Adrian was dead. Cecilia's sister was angry about an email that Cecilia claimed she did not send, but which had been sent from Cecilia's laptop, further convincing her that Adrian was alive and trying to ruin her life. As Cecilia was distressed, James' daughter Sydney came to comfort her, but was unexpectedly slapped by an invisible Adrian, making it seem as if Cecilia had struck her. Furious, Cecilia confronted the invisible Adrian, spraying ashes on the floor and wielding a knife. She followed the ringing of Adrian's phone, which led her to the roof, where she found a photograph of herself sleeping. Convinced of Adrian's presence, Cecilia poured white paint from the roof, revealing his outline. A struggle ensued, and Cecilia was able to break free and flee the house. She searched her former home with Adrian, finding his invisibility suit. As she hid, the dog's barking alerted her to Adrian's arrival, and he dragged her out before the dog protected her. Cecilia called her sister Emily, but before she could explain, the invisible Adrian slit Emily's throat and placed the knife in Cecilia's hand, framing her. Cecilia was arrested and taken to a psychiatric facility, where she was told she was pregnant, despite being on birth control. Adrian's brother visited, suggesting that if Cecilia kept the baby and reconciled with Adrian, her problems would go away. Cecilia eventually confronted the invisible Adrian, stabbing him until an officer arrived. During the confrontation, the officer saw Adrian's invisibility suit wearing off, and Adrian used the taser on him. Cecilia fled, trying to warn others, but Adrian killed them. Cecilia shot at him, but he escaped, threatening to kill Sydney. Fearing for Sydney's safety, Cecilia called James, and Sydney managed to temporarily incapacitate the invisible Adrian with pepper spray. As James tried to save his daughter, Adrian attacked him, but Cecilia used a fire extinguisher to make Adrian visible and shot him, only to find that the person in the suit was actually Adrian's brother. Convinced that Adrian was behind everything, Cecilia eventually confronted him, but he refused to admit his involvement. Cecilia then used the invisibility suit to kill Adrian, making it appear as a suicide.